right, well, thanks for joining us, everyone. We're at top of the hour. Um, Today we are joined by LilyPad. We are talking about streamlining your sales and customer workflows between Katana and LilyPad. Um, some of you might be a Katana user. You might just be sort of aware of Katana, thinking about using it, heard a little bit about it. Some of you might be on LilyPad already. You might be using Vortex, which is the CRM that we're going to be talking about today. You might sort of just be curious about LilyPad and looking at some of the applications. But today we're going to be talking about how to bring the two platforms together to unlock the vortex, meaning how to streamline your sales and customer workflows so it's easier for your sales teams to sell more and it's easier for your customers to buy more and maybe even buy more independently. So, yeah, we're at 9:01. Why don't we get started with intros? You might notice that I've got Sal from the leave pad today. Unfortunately, James couldn't make it. But yeah, I will let Sal introduce himself.
Wonderful. Thank you, Richard. We're very, very happy to be here. Again, I'm filling in for James. He is out sick, but I will do the best I can. So, a little bit of background on us, LilyPad Applications. We've been doing ERP, MRP implementations, consulting for the past 25 years. We've done probably over 600 implementations around the country, Mexico, Canada, you name it. We cover it from remote locations that we have around the country.
Perfect.
We find that over the years we've turned less in, we're less of a consulting company and more of a software company at this point.
Love it.
Um, Although we do implementations, we have many LilyPad products that fit the needs of companies, fill gaps, help with workarounds,
Nice.
just their overall business processes. We have,
I'm gonna cut you off right there because we have a full slide about this. So
ah,
yeah, I'll get to
wonderful.
your slide in a second.
Okay,
But yes, I'm Richard. I
that
work
is us in a
for
nutshell then.
Yeah, that's in a nutshell, but we're gonna get into the larger nutshell in 1 second. But yes, I'm Richard. I'm from Katana. We are a inventory and manufacturing platform for small and medium-sized businesses. I work with our technology partners like LilyPad. Other partners are like QuickBooks, Shopify, Square. And I'm stoked to be here. The agenda. Um, so yes, we're gonna get, into the bigger nutshell about both of our platforms. Then we're gonna go through some scenarios that uh you, our wonderful viewers, are likely going through. We tried to pick some instances where they're gonna be more broad and more applicable, hopefully. Especially as we're heading into Q4, which is the peak selling season. And if you're going into the new year where you're sort of like, I want to make some changes with my automations or my workflows or my tech stack, we think it'll be really interesting for you guys. Then there'll be Q&A. You can put your questions into the Q&A section and we will absolutely get to them. Okay, a little bit about Katana. So we do inventory and manufacturing. We essentially help people centralize their inventory manufacturing processes. So this can be raw materials, but also sort of giving your team assembly instructions so they can understand, all right, if we're making candles, the jars are here, the wicks are here, this is how you assemble the things. We help a lot of customers in clothing and apparel, machinery and metal, food and beverage. But yeah, we work across 70 industries, 80 countries. I'm sure one day we'll have 2,000 different businesses leveraging us. We try to make inventory and manufacturing management as simple, affordable, and approachable as possible. I know it can be really tricky to get those systems right, but we really do try to make the platform as accessible as we can so your teams can work more efficiently, you can save time, and you can also start to plan your buying and manufacturing wisely. Okay, now Sal, you can get into the deep dive of LilyPad.
There we go. There we go. So we've been in business for 20 plus years. Distribution, manufacturing, consulting. We started out as lean manufacturing, lean enterprise, streamlining people's operations. From there, we went into software about 18 years ago. We started working with many different ERPs and MRPs through implementations, and we found that they all have various shortcomings, holes, workarounds needed because every business is a little different.
Yeah.
No one does their business exactly the same as their neighbor. So our goal was to be the guys who fill those workarounds. And that's what we've been doing for the last 18 years. So we do full implementations, we do integrations and connections to other platforms from the ERP, MRP. We've got over 160 integrations currently, whether it's CSV imports and exports, automation for Magento, Xcart, custom Shopify's, custom Salesforce integrations, you name it. We integrate the service softwares, Service Titan, Service Fusion, Commerce Hub. We do EDI.
Nice.
So we kind of try to cover it all. We have a WMS platform for scanning where we allow you to do 2D scanning, catch weights, inner and outer master packs,
Perfect. Yeah,
all the things that you may not need, but if you're a bigger company and you're dealing in medical or you're dealing in food, you might be working with QR codes and things like that, and that's where our stuff comes in.
totally. Yeah, something that I've learned in my couple years working with Katana is even businesses that are in, like, say, let's take, apparel, for instance. Someone can, be making essentially the exact same pair of shoes, but each business is going to operate very, is going to have a unique way of operating, and every single, either, business owner or operations manager is going to want a different way that their system works for their team, and everyone sort of has like a unique idea of how, like, what perfect is to them. So it's really good that we work with partners like LilyPad so people can get the precise experience that they're looking for. This brings us to the first situation that we're going to talk about today. So yes, everyone that's watching, we'd love to know, what are the sort of biggest pain points that you're seeing with disconnected systems? This could be like, if you have an inventory platform versus your POS versus your shipping platform, what are the biggest headaches that you're seeing? Because we might have some ideas on how to fix it. Um, and we'd love to know, what are these scenarios? And Sal is going to walk us through an initial situation about how LilyPad works to solve this.
Wonderful, wonderful. Yes, let me share my screen. So our LilyPad B2B portal works as a sales tool and a current customer portal. So one of the things that we excel in is that we are fully integrated with the Katana system. So custom pricing, locations, customers seeing only categories that you want them to see. It's all part of our system. And we try to add on things that we think the customer will and the sales rep will need as a tool for them to use. Um, Everyone gets a login and a sign in page, a username and password. This is our demo database, so I'm just going to log in and show you what it looks like. So for the first situation we work with a lot of uh, retail wholesale companies that have distributors. So one of our companies that we work with is a bicycle parts company that sells all around the world. So they bring in their stuff from China currently in containers, and they have distributors, I think 68 distributors currently throughout the world. And those distributors log into our LilyPad Vortex system and place orders 24/7. They have the ability to see inventory, they have the ability to set up favorites. They only see themselves, and I'll show you what the customer system looks like in a little bit when we get to that part. But there's, reports that show them inventory of what we have, what's available for sale, by location group. And it just brings the information to the customer much quicker than having to take that phone call or that email and say, do you have this part in stock? Or, here's my order by email. This system allows you to place the order. So you can search by product. If you wanted to purchase tables, you can it's a smart search. You can just start typing. Let me type correctly. Right. So if I wanted to, look at coffee tables, it would pull up coffee tables. We have photos in our system, so you can upload up to 5 different photos for the customer or for the sales rep to view. We also do pull in the size, color, style directly from Katana. And you can either allow back orders, not allow back orders. You can limit locations. You can show on-hand inventory, what's available for sale. And then once you pick a customer, you can then start to place an order. So you'll notice once we pick the customer, now we've got some choices, right? So, okay, we want this table in black, but it's out of stock in metal. We'll take it in wood. That's the price. It's in stock. And we can add it to the cart at any time. At any time, we can go to the cart and view it. We've got thumbnails so they know what they have. We can allow the salespeople to do line item discounts, uh, order discounts. You can build more in the cart if you want, just by typing. You can, if I wanted to add a lounge chair, I could add that lounge chair. I could change the quantity, and it would give me the new pricing. It's all in the cart. And when I'm
Nice.
ready, I would just go to checkout. I could save the order for later. A lot of distributors do that. They build their orders throughout the day and they save them. And then when they're ready to place them, they hit the checkout button. It goes right to a checkout page where all their information is. They pick a shipping date, a delivery date, and then if you want a PO, if you use POs, you can have them as custom fields. If you want to accept a signature or force a signature, you can. This way, someone's signing for the order. You don't have to. We've got many, many settings that allow you to do different things. And then once you're done, you place the order, and the order goes directly into Katana immediately.
Cool. I love that. Thanks for walking us through what that looks like. I am going to take the screen back. Let me make
Please.
sure I'm doing that right. I'm going to replace it. Okay. I think it looks good now. Perfect. And we've got our first poll. So we've got how many different tools do you use to manage sales plus operations? And We are going to bring it to the second scenario. So if you guys want to answer that question, I'm seeing the first one of 1 to 2 platforms to manage sales and operations. I know there's definitely people out there that are using more than 1 to 2. I'm very curious to hear what you guys have to say. I'm seeing 3 to 5.
I've
That's
seen 3 to 5 in a number of situations.
what's the most you've ever seen? I feel like you've probably seen some interesting things.
Um, I've seen 6 plus, but it's rare.
Yeah, the
It
thought
is
of six
rare.
plus is
I
very
kind of feel like
overwhelming.
the sweet spot is 3 to 5 when they
Yeah,
start dealing with scanning and, and a
yeah,
portal and then integrations.
totally. Okay, so we tied with 1 to 2 and 3 to 5. That's about as I would expect. But yeah, the thought of more than 5 feels like oh so many to me. Um, okay, it wants me to share the result. It's not letting me though. Okay. Um, Great. Oh, no. There we go. We're talking about situation 2. Um, okay, another question for you guys is how confident are you that your sales team knows what's in stock? I know we've all been through this where you're like, yep, customer calls in, you're like, yep, we've got that. I can get that out to you right away. And then you go to look in the back room or ship it out and you indeed do not have it. Or you've got, everything else is in stock, but the only thing the customer wants is not there. So
It is
Sal,
such a common problem.
yeah, I know. So Sal's gonna walk us through this as well.
Yes, let me share my screen. And a lot of people use, again, our Vortex system for inventory for their customers and their sales reps. So if a sales rep is logged in, will see all the inventory that we have. So again, you can run it by reports, which I showed you a few minutes ago. If the customer runs it, they'll only see the available for sale number. If a sales rep runs it, they'll see what's on back order,
Nice.
uh, what's on POs, when it's due to come in, all that kind of different stuff. So if we go to say this table, for instance, and we go down here, so we've got 2 locations set up, a New York warehouse and a main location. And it shows us what's available for sale, what's committed to orders already, and how many pieces we have in stock. It can show us weights, it can show us dimensions, but it saves a call, right? So the sales rep is out in the field, he's in front of the customer, he needs inventory, or he wants to sell something, the guy needs it immediately, and he has no idea whether it's in the warehouse or not. This is one excellent way for him to know what we have, and where we have it, right? So if we had it in the New York location and he needs it in the West Coast location, we can transfer it from one location to another. If he doesn't know if he has it in his trunk inventory or, his own inventory, he can look it up and it'll tell him what Katana expects is in for this product is in that location. So inventory wise, it's a big time saver for
Nice.
customers and for vendors. I mean, sales reps, sorry.
I think that is my cue to take the screen back, and I'm going to show you what inventory is like in Katana. Okay. Um, so yeah, that what Sal just showed, if you've got LilyPad and Katana connected, you can basically give your customer an understanding of what's in stock. This is when you pop the hood and look around. This is what it can look like on the back end if you're using Katana to manage your inventory. So we try to make this as approachable as possible and organized. Um, with inventory and Katana, if you look up here, you can have it divided between your finished products and your raw materials. So this can be, the components that make up your products. Or you can get a blended view like we have right here. It will show you the dollar amount of your stock, the quantity that you're looking at, expected, meaning like, how many are you expecting to have either in store or in stock based off of your shipping expectations from suppliers, or how much are you going to make? Committed, meaning if you've already got orders coming in, like if you've pre-sold them things, you can have your inventory assigned or your materials assigned to specific orders. Um, Something that I think is really interesting and really unique about Katana is you also can assign a safety stock, meaning uh, like say this one, your packaging, you always want to make sure you've got enough packaging so you can send out your orders or, complete the assembly process, that's the word. Um, you can say, I always want to have at least 250 of these or packages of these uh, packaging supplies on hand, minimum 250. You can set that to whatever quantity you need it. And if you're approaching that, you get a notification to either make more or order more. So you never run out of your most important either materials or products, the way that we talked about, that it's very unfortunate when people want to buy stuff that you don't have and you're overstocked on things that you don't need. And that is going to bring us to the third and final scenario that Sal is going to walk us through, is how we can start to minimize friction in customer ordering.
Sounds good. Yeah, this is a big one for us. How do your customers order now? Do they send in emails? Do they fax in a form still? Do they make a phone call that someone has to answer and manually type in the order? That's one of the beauties here. I'm going to log out and log in as a customer so you can see what it looks like from a customer perspective. So our system has the ability for you to upload your customer's logo. So you'll replace our logo with your logo, and then your customer will see their logo as well. Their company is already chosen. So as you can see, it's already ready to order stuff. There's nothing they can do to see anyone else's stuff. And they can place their own orders at this point. So those orders go right into Katana for review. They can run their own reports. So if they ran a sales order summary report and they wanted to look at it for this month, they can see all the orders that were placed by them or for them for this month, right? The dates they were created, the status that they're in, how much they spent. If there was shipping tracking, we pull it into this area. So they're not calling up saying, I want to track my shipment. Can you give me the shipping number or let me know how it was shipped? So that makes their life a little easier. It's just all about pushing it back to the customer and allowing them to create their own order. All their custom pricing is pulled into the system. You can see here, this is a special price, denotes a special price for this customer. The inventory varies right? So they know the inventory varies. They can view the options based on the, size, color, and style would show what's in inventory and the price. So you can see this is out of stock, but in black it's in stock, and they can add two to the cart with no problem. We also work in many different languages. So once your customer chooses his language of choice, it automatically saves for him. So every time he logs in or they log in, it will be in that language for them. What else? What else? There, you're allowed, customers can also search by category. You can limit the categories that customers see. If you have, again, a distributor who's a customer that you want to place their own orders, and you only want them to sell tables and chairs, you can limit it so they only see tables and chairs. And you'll notice they don't have settings here, or the ability to upload photos or anything, but they still get the same. They get to see what the product looks like.
Nice.
They get to see inventory, the available for sale numbers, and they can go from there.
Um, if you are ready for it, I have a question that I'd love to know, unless there's something else you want to show first.
No, no, go right ahead.
Okay, cool.
Questions are good.
How is Vortex different from other CRM portals out there?
So Vortex, we don't consider Vortex a CRM
Okay, my bad.
because it's not keeping your
Right.
customer data. Your customer data is all being stored in Katana. And Katana is an amazing platform, which is why we integrated to it. So the beauty of our system is that it's fully integrated. You don't have to pay Shopify for a B2B portal and then update your pricing in Shopify and then update it in Katana. And you're doing your photos in different places, and your inventory doesn't match because they're disjointed. These are fully integrated systems out of the box. It takes us 1 to 2 weeks to get this set up for you, and linked to your Katana system, and you're ready to go. All you have to do is give your customers or your sales reps usernames and passwords, and they're good to go. We're working off of most of the rights that you have in Katana. So it just keeps your people out of the inventory control system. And our goal was to have it fully integrated. So it's not taking your website store and trying to integrate one or two pieces of it. It's fully there already, right out of the box.
Perfect. That's awesome. Um, yeah, any final words on this one before we move on?
No, I think we're good
No?
on this one. I
Okay.
mean, it allows customers to do whatever you'd like them to do. I mean, if you
Nice.
want them to be able to place orders without calling you, this is the way to go. If you want
Yeah,
them to be able to
making
look up
it,
inventory and track their orders, again, this is the way to go. We've
love
got
that.
3PL warehouses are becoming bigger and bigger all the time. Many 3PLs use this system where they'll give their customers access to move their inventory around and ship in inventory through this directly into their Katana system as well, because all they'll see is their own stuff. So there's many, many restrictions within the
Yeah.
system that will limit them to only see their own goods.
Yeah, I like that customized view that you can give customers versus employees, and you give each specific customer their own sort of portal. The way you've got the co-branding at the top, it's always reassuring where someone can be like, oh, great, this is the specific portal for me and my
Yes,
business. That's
exactly.
awesome. I mean, we have similar rules in Katana where, different team members can see different parts of information that's more applicable to them, better user experience. Also, if you want to like be a bit more protective of your information or data, not everyone needs to see or know everything.
Right.
You can have that set
I'm,
up.
I'm a firm believer in my 30 years in industry of keeping your sales reps out of your financial system and keeping them out of your MRP system.
Hmm. Yes, it's all that. Also, it's you're probably doing them a favor because they probably don't want or need to know all that. So you're just
That's
helping them
true.
stay focused. Amazing. Um, so yeah, we're coming towards the end of this presentation. So if you have questions, feel free to put them in the Q&A or put them in the chat, and we will get to them in a moment. I'm just going to sort of like quickly summarize some of the things that we covered today and remind you about why we integrate with LilyPad. Um, so seamless customer facing experiences we know that customers purchase, and I mean, think about like your own buying habits as a consumer. You're gonna buy from the people that make it really easy to do business with, where you can operate independently, or if you need that help from a customer service agent, you can get it with ease. We also integrate across a ton of different sales channels. So you can have LilyPad connected into Katana, connected into Shopify, connected into an eBay store. We can help you do that. We can help you save time for your sales, customer support, and operations teams by centralizing all of your data for your customers so they can be a lot more independent with purchasing. Or they can at least, have more pointed questions, and also your sales team can get uh, the information set up really easily or delivered to the client. And also, I know we're going to talk a little bit about integrations at the end. But yeah, LilyPad is truly one of the most efficient Katana partners. They can have a store set up in a couple days. And their team is awesome to work with, and they are one of my favorite partners. Okay.
And keep in mind that the
Yes.
integration is seamless, and we host the product, so it's
Mm,
not an app that you'll download from the web, from the App Store. It's a web-based application, just like
yes.
Katana is.
Yep.
You'll get your own URL that you'll decide, and support, email, phone support comes directly from Sharp Concepts, LilyPad applications, for anything you need.
Perfect. Um, that brings me to the first question that I see is, how long does it take to implement? I know I just talked about this, but what are sort of the
Uh,
actual days or
So,
weeks?
so it normally takes 1 to 2 weeks to implement, and part of your implementation, you get an hour's worth of administrator training.
Nice.
So our team teaches you everything you need to know about the Vortex application and all the settings, and they go through the settings with you and set up your system with you live. So we're not just leaving you with a manual or, here's the settings tab, turn on or off whatever you want. Our implementation team members, as part of your purchase, go through that with you. And when they're done, you're fully trained, ready to train your own users and go. So we like to think we're in a good situation, because if someone buys Katana and buys LilyPad, we'll be live before Katana's live normally.
Yes, you will be. You are faster than us.
Yeah, so that you'll never be waiting for us. That's the one thing that we pride ourselves on. If
Okay,
you
we'll
need
be
to
waiting
be
for
up in a
Katana.
day, we'll get you up in a day.
Yeah.
It's just that simple.
No, it's so good to have that really customized support when getting up and running on a system. Katana is the same way. You'll get your onboarding manager. They'll meet with you weekly. They'll go through your specific questions, and they'll show you how to use the platform. So you've not just, bought something, you made a big investment, and then you're just sort of a bit lost and your team doesn't quite get on board properly. We never want that to happen. And that's why we also work with partners like LilyPad that have a similar ethos around user experience, and especially the first couple months getting really comfortable with the system. So it's, set up precisely how you want it, and it works for your business for the foreseeable future.
And keep
Um,
in mind, I know we
yeah.
didn't mention it, but LilyPad Vortex is unlimited users, just like
Mm,
Katana is.
right, just like Katana, once
Yeah,
again.
so we
Yeah.
have customers, we have companies with over 300 customers,
Well.
logging in all day, just placing their orders.
And then so say you give your customer a login. Is there one shared login for each customer, or can each customer get like, would there be 300 logins for the 300 people that might be wanting to use it?
It's done differently by different
Mm,
customers, and we prefer that everyone has their own login
smart.
because
Yeah.
then you know who does what and when. But we do have like people with supply rooms, and the supply room is reordering
Mm,
for, to replenish their stock. So they might have, three different shifts or five different people in there, and they just want to call it supply room one. So they
got
have
it.
a username and a password for supply room one, and they do their replenishment that way. So it works, it can work both ways.
Perfect. Um, Another question is LilyPad does more than just Vortex, which we've covered today. Um, what other systems or tools do you guys have?
So, like I was saying before, like I was jumping the gun before, we've got a WMS system, which is scanning. So it's all warehouse.
Hmm.
It's multilingual. It does 2D scanning, 1D scanning, medical barcodes, pick, pack, ship. It does pallet management. So you can build pallets on the fly and know what's on the pallet at all times and what's shipping to the client. We've got our integrations package, which does, like I said, over 160 integrations connections at this point. We do a lot of custom stuff. So if you have an integration that's standard and you need custom fields or you need something special in it that the vendor just won't do, that's the kind of stuff that we excel in. So, you switch to our integration and we can do an enhancement or customization to add what you need so it does exactly what you need it to do.
Nice.
Instead of getting 80% there, we want you to be 100%. We also do full implementations, on-site training, on-site go live support. We do a lot of that, actually. People seem to really like someone holding their hand when they go live,
Hmm.
in case they have any questions or they feel stuck, their business doesn't get impacted because one of our implementation engineers is there,
Hmm.
on site to help. Um, we've got a lot of other software. You'll see a link to our website at the end of the presentation. You can take a look at it. I mean, everything that you see there can and does integrate with Katana. So if you see something that you do need, the three that we sell the most of and that people seem to not be able to get enough of are the scanning, the B2B portal, and the integrations. But there is a bunch more in there.
Yeah,
It's like the
the
80/20 rule, right?
yeah, those top three uh do not surprise me based off of what your portfolio is. That also sounds like the most common things that a lot of Katana customers leverage as well, or they're looking for.
Yeah.
But you made a very good point that there are links on these QR codes here. So if you have really specific questions or you want to keep this conversation going with LilyPad or with Katana or both, hopefully, you can scan either and you'll go to a landing page where you can book a conversation to talk to a team member to see if Katana or LilyPad might be right for your business, or if you've got questions about a scenario you're working through, we're absolutely here to help. You'll also get links in a follow-up email with this recording. And I guess, Sal, any final words before we wrap it up for the day?
Again, we're here to help, just like Katana is. So, the nice part of our partnership is that we're really very similar in our company focus. Our focus is to make and do whatever you need
Hmm.
possible. So if you just have a question and you're not sure about something, by all means reach out and we'd be more than happy to tell you whether it's possible or it's not. I mean, some things are not possible, but
Hmm.
we try to make most of them work out.
Totally. Wow. What a lovely place to end it. So Sal, thank you so much for your time. It was excellent walking through the Vortex portal and learning more about the tools that are part of the LilyPad ecosystem. Um, Thank you everyone for joining us and for your questions. I had a lovely time chatting with you, Sal, and we will see you soon.
Sounds good. Thank you for the opportunity. We really appreciate it.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone.